Hello and welcome to Uncover the Hidden Job Market. You know, I know how frustrating it is to continue to apply for jobs, hitting apply, only for your resume to disappear into that black hole, never to be heard from again. To continue this process, when you think about it, is lunacy, because the chances of getting a call back are less than 1% using this method. In fact, it could be even less than that, depending upon how many resumes an employer actually receives, which could be in the hundreds today. Especially because there are more applicants than jobs today. There are so many people out of work. Not to mention that everyone else is doing the exact same thing. Why would you want to do what everyone else is doing? It will only get the same results. And it's near impossible to stand out, especially if there's hundreds of resumes. So, it is said that 80% of the really great jobs are found in the hidden job market. So, what is the hidden job market? Well, it's a variety of jobs. It's those jobs that are in the pipeline for maybe in the next 2 to 6 weeks, jobs that companies are maybe thinking about but haven't quite put together yet or formulated, jobs that a company maybe prefers to fill by referral. Or maybe it's a job that hasn't yet been created yet because a perfect candidate hasn't come along. It could also be a job that's posted internally and is circulating but hasn't made it to the external job posting yet. So, how does a person go about accessing these jobs? Well, it starts with you. You have to figure out what it is you want, what your unique value proposition is, and then identify what companies that you want to work for. Hello and welcome. My name is Dawn Casey with over 20 years of leading human resource departments and the recruitment function. I now help people with their career challenges, changes, and of course questions. This is the Career Rescue Coach YouTube channel. What makes this channel a little bit different is that I've helped many employees over my 20 years navigate the career waters. And I've been successful in my own career, and I share my experiences and stories with you throughout all these videos. Thank you so much for tuning in, and be sure to subscribe. Let's get into uncovering the hidden job market. Having worked in human resources for years, I can tell you from personal experience that transitions and changes happen in an organization all the time that cause an organization to look at candidates either internally or through other methods rather than just through job postings. There are a multitude of reasons a company would do this, but what if you were to appear at the right time with the right skill set? What if you offered a company something that they have been looking for and didn't even know it? What if you present enough value to them that you turn out to be exactly what they need? So, let's take a look at how you might approach this. Number one, determine what your unique skill set or value add offering is. The mistake that most job seekers make is to create a very standard resume that fit themselves into a standard format or a boring mold. Consider carefully what it is that differentiates you from everybody else. As an example, you might be especially good at creating effective marketing campaigns. Then, this is what you focus on and sell yourself on. Not that you don't have other general good marketing skills, but so do hundreds of others. What is it that makes you different and makes you stand out? That is what you sell and market yourself on. You want to market yourself based upon what you feel you're an expert in. Writing a standard resume without emphasizing what you're truly good at and really having the rest of your resume and your experience support that is just a waste of time. Number two, select the companies that you want to work for. This is another area in which most job seekers just simply ignore. It always surprises me. Most job seekers think that a job search involves simply applying for jobs online on different job boards And this is often what they consider the entire job search. I can't tell you how many clients of mine have started out with this notion and think, as their coach, I'm going to supply them with some magic job board that they've never heard of that will get them that ideal job. It doesn't work that way. The opportunity and true magic happens when you're selecting companies that you want to work for and reaching out to them directly. So, a true job search is where you take charge and decide what companies that you want to work for and how you can make a difference for those companies. Number 3, contact the decision makers. Contrary to belief, the true decision makers are not recruiters. As much as I love recruiters, and I've worked with some really good ones, they are not the decision makers. Don't get this confused. Hiring managers and principal officers are the true decision makers. As an example, VPs, officers, principals, directors are your decision makers. So, how do you find these decision makers? Well, the number one way is LinkedIn, but it doesn't always work. So you may have to Google them, you may have to simply go out and do a search, or even go to their company websites, because oftentimes they have their officers listed there. Now, the important thing is, not only do you identify who they are, you get as much contact information on them as you can. Number 4, create a compelling contact letter and then mail it to them. So in this step, the first thing you want to do is create a compelling opening paragraph. This paragraph should introduce yourself and make a personal reference as to why you contacted them specifically. Next, you want to tell them a little bit about yourself and what your value proposition is for them and why it matters. Next, you want to ask them for an informational interview. Not a regular interview. You're not looking for a job at this point. It's an informational interview. You just want the opportunity to learn more about their company, how it's structured, about their culture, and a little bit about them and what they do for the company. In this letter, you will let them know, you'll follow up with a personal phone call shortly after they receive the letter. Also, be sure to let them know that you won't take up more than 20 minutes of their time because these folks are busy, so be respectful of their time. And you'll want to mail this letter to them. Why mail, you might ask? Because a letter is unusual today. A letter versus email will get their attention. Most executives get overwhelmed with email these days. In fact, they don't get through most of it. And today emails get missed, they get put into spam or deleted so easy. Number 5, follow up on your letter. Be sure to call a person and introduce yourself and ask for what time and day might work best for them. Be friendly, be cordial, but get to the point fairly quickly so that you don't waste their time. If you get a voicemail, leave a message, but you may have to call again and follow up. Never, ever, ever rely on voicemail and for someone to call you back, because after all, you are the one seeking an audience with them, so you call them back. Be prepared to ask for a Zoom meeting or a personal meeting, depending upon what their comfort level is. Number 6, go to the informational interview. Be prepared, show up on time, and dress to the nines. Dress in a suit, look polished, and look sharp. Have a prepared list of questions. Start your questions and by maybe just asking them a little bit about themselves. Ask them about what their challenges are. Ask about the company culture, what type of employees work there. Those types of questions. Get to know them. Make that effort. And as one of your final questions, ask them to take a look at your resume very quick for just some quick feedback. Wrap up your informational interview in 20 minutes because that's what you promised them you do. Be sure to ask for a business card and ask to stay in contact with them. Thank them very graciously for their time and be done. Number 7, send a thank you note. Always, always, always follow up with an informational interview with a personal thank you. Whether it's email, that's fine. I prefer a personal note since that's originally how you contacted them, which was through mail. As you build your network, follow up with these folks. Don't let them fall through the cracks. Continue to build upon those relationships. Check in with them. See how they're doing, not just how you're doing. But don't bug them. Again, keep your contact maybe once a month, once every couple months. Watch their company websites for job openings so you can contact them directly if something should come up. Then let the officer know that you're interested and they'll be in your court. As a final note, informational interviews are ways of making connection. Keep in mind that LinkedIn is just a database. It's a way of meeting strangers and connecting. But the problem with social media, people make the mistake that it's actually connecting to people, and it's not. It's just introducing yourself. The way you make those connections is meeting those people in person and getting to know people. Yes, you have to get out from behind your laptop and meet people. That is part of the criteria. Informational interviews are not job interviews. Do not get these confused, and never, ever, ever ask for a job in your informational interview. The purpose is, of course, to make connections. So we've talked about the 7 steps in which you can research, prepare, and conduct an informational interview. The important thing to note about these interviews is that it is about building relationships, first and foremost. Please remember to subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to check out the Career Rescue Coach Facebook page for great articles and questions. Be sure to share your comments below and ask questions. And here's my social media where you can come visit me in other locations. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Dawn Casey as the Career Rescue Coach. And remember, change your job, change your life. Be safe and be well.